The full story of the death of Gareth Williams. The death of Gareth Williams in August 2010 is one of the most perplexing modern mysteries. It involves a brilliant codebreaker, a locked bag inside a locked bathroom, and a swirl of espionage theories. While the official conclusion points to a tragic accident, unresolved questions leave room for enduring speculation. Gareth Williams, 31, was a mathematical prodigy from Anglesey, Wales. He earned a first-class degree in mathematics at 17 and a PhD by 21. He was hired by the Government Communications Headquarters, GCHQ, the UK's Signals Intelligence Agency, and was on a secondment to the Secret Intelligence Service MI6 in London. Colleagues described him as intensely private, incredibly bright, and a genius at his work. He was meticulous, shy, and not particularly interested in the typical spy lifestyle. His passions were cycling and fashion. He was due to return to his permanent post at GCHQ in Cheltenham just a week after his body was found. The scene: a flat in Alderney Street. Williams lived in a top-floor one-bedroom apartment at 36 Alderney Street in Pimlico, London. The property was owned by the Secret Intelligence Service MI6 and used to house its staff. August 15, 2010, Sunday. Williams attended a motorsport event in mid-Wales with friends. He was last seen alive on CCTV returning to his flat alone that evening. Week of August 16th. He failed to show up for a work meeting on Wednesday, August 18th. This was highly out of character, but MI6 did not report him missing for another 5 days. This delay would later be heavily criticized. August 23rd, Monday. Concerned by his absence, colleagues went to his flat. They forced entry and found no sign of him. Police were called. The discovery: officers found the bathroom door locked. They forced it open and found an empty, dry bathtub. Next to it was a large red North Face holdall, padlocked from the outside with a Yale lock. When they cut the bag open, they found the naked, decomposing body of Gareth Williams curled in a fetal position. There were no signs of struggle in the immaculate flat. His mobile phone and several SIM cards were laid out on a table. 2 theater tickets worth over $600 were found unused. The discovery triggered a massive investigation by the Metropolitan Police, complicated by the victim's occupation. The bag. This was the central mystery. Forensics experts found it was impossible for Williams to have locked the padlock himself, from the outside, from inside the bag. The keys to the padlock were inside the bag underneath his body. No signs of struggle. There was no evidence of a break-in or a violent struggle. No defensive wounds were found on his body, though advanced decomposition made some analysis difficult. No DNA. Aside from a small partial DNA sample on the padlock that was never identified, there were no traces of another person in the bathroom or on the bag. The flat had been professionally cleaned shortly before his death. Cause of death. The initial autopsy was inconclusive. The pathologist stated he probably died from an unknown poison or from suffocation, as the heat inside the bag would have caused him to lose consciousness quickly. The inquest, 2012. Due to the mysterious circumstances, a full coroner's inquest was held. It revealed startling new information: MI6's failure. MI6 was heavily criticized for its relaxed attitude in not reporting him missing for a week. A line manager stated this failure was unacceptable. Female DNA. Traces of DNA from 2 unknown women were found in the flat, but investigators could not link them to the death. This fueled tabloid speculation about his private life. Expert testimony. A world-renowned escapologist, Jonathan McGowan, testified that even he could not lock himself in such a bag from the inside. He stated, "In my opinion, it's impossible. I think there was a third party involved." The coroner's verdict. Coroner Dr. Fiona Wilcox delivered a narrative verdict. She stated it was highly unlikely Williams locked himself in the bag and that his death was unnatural and probably criminal. She believed it was likely a third party was involved in the locking of the bag and that the cause of death was asphyxiation. She also mentioned the lack of evidence of a break-in might point to someone he knew being let into the flat. The official conclusion: a tragic accident. The Metropolitan Police continued its investigation after the inquest. In November 2013, they announced their final conclusion, which starkly contradicted the coroner's findings. The police theory, based on new forensic experiments, was that Gareth Williams most likely locked himself in the bag alone and accidentally suffocated. Recreated scenario. Scientists from the government's Defense Science and Technology Laboratory, DSTL, managed to lock themselves into an identical bag without help on several occasions. They demonstrated it was possible, though difficult. No espionage evidence. The investigation found no evidence of any foreign intelligence service involvement, and no evidence of a struggle or break-in. Personal life. Police leaned into the theory that Williams had a history of visiting fetish websites related to claustrophilia, an attraction to confinement, and autocraticism. They suggested he may have been engaging in a risky solo sex game that went tragically wrong. His family vehemently denied this. The Metropolitan Police stated, "Our conclusion is that, on balance, it is a more probable conclusion that there was no other person present when Gareth died. But clearly there is no evidence to support the theory that Gareth's death was intended." The unanswered questions and theories. Despite the police conclusion, the case remains shrouded in doubt for many, including Williams's family. The lack of DNA. If a third party was involved, how did they leave no trace in the bathroom or on the bag handles? This points to a highly professional, meticulous cleanup. The MI6 connection. His occupation is the elephant in the room. Could he have been killed by a hostile intelligence service? Had he stumbled upon something he shouldn't have? The week-long delay in reporting him missing is seen by conspiracists as a period to sanitize the scene. The family's stance. Williams's family utterly rejects the accident theory. Their barrister stated, "The obvious conclusion is that the unknown third party was a member of some agency specializing in the dark arts of the secret services, or evidence has been removed post-mortem by experts in those arts." For the theater tickets. The purpose of the expensive unused tickets has never been explained. The official story, as per the Metropolitan Police, is that Gareth Williams died alone in a tragic accident, the result of a private experiment that went horribly wrong. However, the coroner's finding of an unnatural death, the lack of conclusive DNA evidence, the involvement of intelligence services, and the sheer improbability of the scenario leave the case open. Most credible observers agree on one thing. While it is possible he died alone, it is incredibly unlikely. The balance of probability suggests another person was present. Whether that person was a spy, a killer, or simply someone who panicked and covered up a terrible accident, is the secret that died with Gareth Williams. The case remains a haunting enigma at the intersection of private tragedy and the shadowy world of intelligence.